Hey guys, it's Sarah and today is BookList Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And this week we are going to do our follow-up for our 5-star predictions that we most recently did. And this round we worked with our dear friend Audrey from Chapter and Converse. Love her so much. So she also has a follow-up up on her channel today. Obviously, both of these two ladies are going to be linked down below. And for this round, we went with books that we have thrifted. So something we bought secondhand, maybe we got from a free little library, something we just didn't pay a lot, if anything, for. So we picked from those books and read them. So let's start with the high note. The high note is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I got this for 25 cents at a thrift store in Florida. 25 cents. And I love this book so much. It was an easy 5 stars. I mean, not even halfway through the book, I knew that it was going to be like 5 stars. So many book darts in here. Oh my gosh, you guys, this book. Okay. So this follows Emma, who marries her high school sweetheart, Jesse. They are in love. Everything's great. They're married. They're living their lives, blah, 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 blah. And then Jesse goes on a work trip in a helicopter, and the helicopter goes down. And she is told there are no survivors, basically. So she deals with that. She mourns him. It takes a couple years. And then she one day runs into an old friend from high school who she knew. And sparks are flying. So she struggles with that, though. She's not sure. She's like, I still feel like I'm married, even though I know my husband's not alive anymore. Is this right? Blah, blah, blah. She struggles with it. But she decides to go for it. She decides, you know what? I deserve to be happy. He would want that for me, all these things. So she goes through that whole process and she starts dating Sam. And then she gets a phone call one day after her and Sam have been in a relationship for a little bit. They are engaged, like they're going to get married. She gets a phone call and it's Jesse. And he's still alive. And he has spent these last years where she thought he was dead trying to get back to her. You guys. So what do? Do you go back to your husband, even though these past couple years have changed you as a person? Or do you stay with the person who you're ready to spend the rest of your life with and you're incredibly happy with? I don't know. Like, I knew what I wanted her to do. I don't know what I would do in that situation. And it definitely makes you think about that. Like, what would I do in that situation? I don't even know. It's crazy. I loved this so much. All of it made sense. There's one little decision it wasn't a little decision. There's one decision that Emma made while she's trying to make this decision between these two men and what she's going to do that I did not agree with. And I think I just kind of went, oh, why are you doing this? And she did it more than once. Other than that, everything else was fantastic and great. Just that one decision, I was like, come on, man. Why are you doing that? But it's okay. I absolutely loved this book. And I'm not going to like say whose team I'm on or whatever, but I thought it was fantastic. I mean, if you want to know whose team I'm on, I'll tell you, but I don't want to give any spoilers away. So yeah, just love. All right. So join me down, join me down on the floor. Okay. So the next one I picked up was The Lucky One by Nicholas Sparks. I picked this book because I did get it at a thrift store. I got it at Goodwill. And I had been collecting his books because I started reading him like years and years ago. I read The Notebook and The Wedding, which I loved. I read Nights in Rodanthe, which I liked. And I read another one later on. But like I had read those before in the past, like a long time ago, early in my kind of, making reading a normal thing in my adulthood. And I liked them, but I was afraid of Nicholas Sparks because I was afraid that his stories were going to get predictable and they were all going to sound the same. And it was just like, okay, and we're just, here we go again. That's what I was afraid of. But then a couple years ago, I picked up Safe Haven and I loved it. Like, I just had such a great reading experience with that book. I don't know what it was, maybe right book, right time type thing, but I loved it so much I gave it 5 stars. So then I was like, okay, maybe I should get back on the Nicholas Sparks train. Maybe I was too hasty in, writing him off or whatever. So I started collecting his books again because I can always find them everywhere for super cheap. They are in all the thrift stores. You will find a Nicholas Sparks book somewhere. So I started collecting them slowly, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to give him another shot. And I have a plethora to choose from now. I have like 7 or 8 books to choose from. And so for this round, when we did Thrifted, I was like, okay, I'm going to pick up another Nicholas Sparks book and give it another shot because I don't know if Safe Haven was a fluke or not. So I picked up the one that I thought I was going to enjoy the most out of all the synopsises that I was reading. And this is the one, because this follows a Marine who is in a wartime situation. He finds this photograph of this woman and he tries to find the owner of it, can't find, like, no one's claiming this photograph, so he keeps it on him. And he gets into this situation, a life-threatening situation, and is pretty much convinced that this photograph kept him safe. So he feels like a lucky charm thing, so he never lets go of this photograph. When he gets out of the military, he goes on a mission to find this woman, and he does find her. And he ends up, becoming a part of her life. So I thought that this was going to be the one that I enjoyed the most and could very possibly be a 5 star for me. Nope. 3. The reason is it was predictable. I was almost announcing before something was going to happen what was going to happen, and I was right. I was like, okay, and now this is going to happen, right? Yep, there it is. Okay, and now we're going to go down this road, aren't we? Yep, there it is. So I did not enjoy it. I listened to it on audio. The audio was fine. I didn't enjoy the story really at all. And I got kind of annoyed at some of the characters. And it was just predictable. Like, I was like, I feel like I've read this before. I feel like I've read this in a Nicholas Sparks book before. Some of the things that happen in here. So what's my future with Nicholas Sparks? Not sure there is one. I actually went ahead and put all of his other books that I own up on Pango for sale because now I'm not interested. I think I was right about the predictability. I do have one book by him sitting on my gifted cart because someone did send me one of his books. So that one I will read. I think it's called Every Breath. So I'll read that one because if you guys send me a book, I'm going to read it because you guys took the time and your money to send me something. I'm not going to waste your time or your money. So I'm going to read that one. But every other thing that I bought, no, I put it up on Pango. So, yeah, but I will read the other one actually sometime before we move. I've made a decision. I'm not going to move any Nicholas Sparks book with me. I'm kind of to that point right now where I'm thinking about, okay, next time we move, I'm not going to take any of those. So, yeah, I will read that one at some point, maybe this year, but yeah, 3 stars. Generous. I like the premise, but yeah, I don't think he's an author for me anymore. Okay. And then I picked up In the Dream House. This is by Carmen Maria Machado. This is a nonfiction memoir about Carmen's experience in a relationship with another woman, and that relationship became abusive. So this is her memoir about that. Now, I was really interested in this one because, number one, you don't hear about that a lot. You hear about abusive relationships, but it's usually between a man and a woman, and it's usually the man who is abusive towards the woman. That's what you normally get. So I had never really thought about 2 women in a relationship where one of them is abusive. That never really even crossed my mind. And so I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to read about that experience. It is very short. I got through it pretty quickly. I did read this physically. I did not listen to the audiobook, although I believe the author narrates it. So, okay. This is told in a very creative way where there is a linear storyline where you're following their relationship, how they met, how they started getting together, how the abuse started, all that kind of stuff. So that is in here. But there's also chapters that are more metaphorical and more suggestive than straight storytelling, almost like fiction within a nonfiction. So, and then there's also some chapters where she goes into her past, like before she met this woman and other relationships she was in and stuff like that. So it kind of like there was a linear timeline, but it also bounced all over the place at times. I have a hard time with this one because this is her experience and that's fine. I did enjoy the timeline following her relationship with this one woman. I didn't feel like I needed the other relationships she had been in. I didn't feel like I needed the metaphorical stuff because the metaphorical stuff is stuff that I felt like wasn't really necessary, and it tended to take me out of the story. Like it took me out of her life, and it took me out of her relationship with this woman. And then I felt like we were just thrown back in the next chapter. So I gave it 3 stars. Like I feel that if this was just the story of her abusive relationship with this woman, I probably would have rated it higher because I would have been more invested in it. I felt like I kept getting taken out of it. So yeah, which I hate. And that was just the writing choice. Now, I will say her writing is fantastic, hands down. And I have read a short story collection by her before, which I don't normally read. I don't normally read short story collections, but I did read Her Body and Other Parties by her, and I loved that. I thought it was fantastic. So her writing is great. It really, really is. So nothing on the writing, just the way that it was presented, I think was just a little bit too much for me to fully enjoy it. So I gave it 3 stars, which I hate, but that was my experience. So I don't know. Okay, guys, 1 5-star, 2 3 stars. So not great. I mean, this one alone was worth the round, to be honest with you. But the other 2 almost put me in a slump. So there's that. Like these 2 and then another book that wasn't 4 5-star predictions almost put me into a slump, but we'll get to that one later. So yeah, I don't know, man. That was an interesting round, definitely. But I did read one that's probably going to be on my favorites of the year. So there's that. So, okay. Make sure you please go check out Lindsay and Audrey today and see what their follow-ups are and how they did. I hope they did better than I did. I hope they were more successful. And I'm excited to go watch those. So let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.